Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast, the English language on Canal International. We begin with our top stories. Two of the remaining hostages kidnapped on Tuesday with a divisional officer for Bamenda 2 have been executed. In a 32-second video, the two men were summarily blown up by bullets in what the abductors say is in revenge of the administrator who escaped. And we are just 2 days left to National Day celebration in Cameroon. Like in the past years, the head of state is expected to address youth on the eve of National Youth Day celebration. What are the expectations of the youths as they await the head of state's address, plus last-minute preparations and rehearsals in schools and concerts, humor, music, dance, and sports will make your weekend. Lady Pons, Coco, Ajante, among many other artists that will brighten up your weekend before Valentine's Day. Those are major stories. Details are right ahead. Good evening once more. Two of the remaining hostages kidnapped on Tuesday with a divisional officer for Bamenda 2 in the northwest region have been executed. In a 32-second video, the two men are summarily blown up by bullets in what abductors say is in revenge of the administrator who escaped. Meanwhile, 7 others, including 4 ladies and 3 men, have been set free. More with our reporter, Annie Collins, who have been monitoring the situation from Bamenda.
A video footage has emerged on social media whereby 2 men are being executed through gunshots. The two are said to be a driver, Hamza, and a police officer, Yakubu, who were kidnapped alongside the divisional officer for Bamenda 2 on Tuesday, February 6, on their way to Nkambe in the Ndonga Mountain division of the northwest region. Voices in the video, supposedly by the abductors and killers, say it is in reprisal of the divisional officer who escaped from captivity after dribbling their vigilance. Meanwhile, and still early Friday morning, photos of 7 persons who were part of the hostages also appeared, showing them posing with the divisional officer from Ndu subdivision where the kidnapping took place after their release. Among the 7 released are 3 female staff of the governor's office, a Bamenda-based lady, and 3 other men. It should be recalled that the victims fell into the waiting hands of suspected separatist fighters after overtaking the vehicle of security personnel accompanying them through the Ntaba Hill when the security vehicle became too slow in ascending.
And tax officials of the Regional Taxation Office for Littoral 2 have been enjoined to mobilize more revenue for the Treasury as they now have the necessary tools to boost performance. The Minister of Finance, Louis made a call while officially inaugurating a new infrastructure office for Littoral 2 in Douala, February 9, 2024. Gladys Ambodibank tells us more.
The inauguration of the Regional Taxation Office for Littoral 2 on February 9, 2024 by Minister of Finance Louis marks a significant advancement in modernizing taxation services and fostering collaboration between taxpayers and the government. This infrastructure is expected to boost productivity of the tax administration.
We are very glad as a taxpayer to be in the condition like this one, because what we need is to improve the condition of our country, to pay our taxes and to bring Cameroon being greater.
The Littoral 2 Regional Taxation Office contributed 100 billion francs CFA to the state budget in 2023, about 60% of the 170 billion francs CFA raised by the 3 taxation centers in the littoral. A remarkable performance in its 3 years of existence, which the Minister of Finance says warranted a modern structure to further improve its contribution to the state budget.
We have a target to collect more revenues, more internal revenues, because we can't rely only on petrol or external debt. So we have to achieve a good target as far as the collection of internal revenue is concerned. We came here today because if you want them to achieve what you expect from them, you have to give them all the means, and the means are what I can say: good infrastructure, good services, the tools that they need.
The minister admitted he was conscious of tongue wagging over some taxes imposed to broaden the tax base and announced adaptive measures through public-private dialogues.
And Yvonne Sanga Bangi from the Central African Republic is the new governor of the Bank of Central African States, BEAC. The Bank of Central African States, BEAC, serves 6 Central African countries, namely Cameroon, Chad, Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and Congo. Come back to that in subsequent editions of Newscast. And Haruna Baku is a new Director General of the National Oil Refining Company, Sonora. He was appointed today following an extraordinary board of directors of the National Refining Company, Sonora, that held this Friday 2024 in Limbe. An extraordinary board of directors of the National Refining Company is presided at by the Minister of Water and Energy, Gaston Elundu Esomba. The new director is expected to restructure Sonora, resume the supply of petroleum products to the national market through import operations. The new general manager is also expected to accelerate the process of reconstruction of Sonora in order to refine, produce crude oil locally. Before his installation, Haruna Baku was the Director General of the Cameroon Oil Transportation Company, CODCO. He takes over from Jean-Paul Simo Juno, who has held the office since January 14, 2019. We'll come back to that in subsequent editions of Newscast. And the Douala Bonneberry port has stepped out its security arsenals by conducting a simulation exercise on how to avert attacks on vessels by pirates. The exercise was supervised by the head of the port's security committee. Our reporter Kenyan Henry Atembe tells us more.
A vessel is attacked at gunpoint and taken hostage. Informed by a member of the vessel's crew in distress, the port officer on duty at the control tower immediately informs the port commander. The managing director and the various departments responsible for security at the port in Bonneberry are alerted. Informed, the governor, chairman of the Douala Bonneberry Port Security Committee, immediately convenes his staff at the dedicated command post. It was from here that the actions would be coordinated, successful operations and report given to the Admiral.
It is just an exercise to see how we can react if there is any attack of our ships.
The exercise lasted for about 90 minutes. At the end of the exercise, the chairman of the safety committee explained that the aim was to test the architectural management strength of the ports in a crisis situation by deploying nautical and land-based resources. During this operation, the operational level of the port of Douala Bonneberry's security architecture was put to test, and teamwork and multi-sector cooperation in crisis management were strengthened.
On the eve of February 11, like in every other year, the head of state has been addressing youths in Cameroon, tradition that will be respected again this year. While some youths look forward to the message with high expectations, others hold it will be the same old stories of unemployment, patriotism to the nation, and ambassadors of peace. Our reporter Beatrice Ngamo has been talking to some youths and nations. Political capital Yaoundé has story.
Issue of priority occupying the number one position as far as Cameroonian youths are concerned is that of unemployment. The youths want to hear the president announce reachable opportunities available to carry them out of this situation.
All the youth were crying that the president to do something so that the youth should be able to be proud of their nation because they are jobless.
The almost 80 years of crisis rocking the two English-speaking regions of the country, the Northwest and Southwest, with impact on not only education but also youth's exodus, answers they want also.
Many students are here, IDPs. We plead on the president that should say something in the aspect of the Anglophone crisis.
I only need to hear him say something that will please the North and the South region for the war to stop.
I would like him to improve the infrastructures, especially in the Northwest and Southwest region.
Enough backup, empowerment, encouragement they use to say they need to effectively play a role in society.
We are hoping that government can support the small and medium-sized enterprises by reducing maybe taxes. That will encourage the youth also to create something on their own. Then we believe that this time around we will have that platform that we have been longing for.
The government has the ability and the capacity to put in place a comfortable environment so that the private sector can employ.
This February 10 speech should be one of encouragement, their wish also.
We the youth, we just hope for a good speech. We pray that he should have a soft mind and a soft heart. Mostly we would like to hear especially things like peace in our country, Cameroon, justice.
Tradition will be respected tomorrow, February 10, at around 8 p.m. on the occasion of the 58th edition of National Youth Day. And it is to take the pulse on how to fight against malaria and subsequent control interventions to curb the burden of that members of the Parliamentary Caucus of Health went visiting some key sectors in Yaoundé. The people's representative wants to confirm efforts and challenges as health are concerned, claiming millions of lives yearly. More with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamu. Without mosquitoes, there will be no malaria. A study by the Research Institute for SEMA countries, specialized in malaria, among other infectious diseases, OSIAC, reveals there are over 17 mosquito species of the 50 present here in Cameroon, transmitting malaria via different behaviors.
Some bite indoor, some bite outdoor, and some rest indoor and some rest outdoor. And this information is very important because a mosquito lives outdoor. Putting in place a bed net would not be really efficient against this mosquito. And in those areas, you need to combine to the bed net that is being used other control measures in order to improve the fight against the disease.
Works on mosquitoes and best ways to eliminate the vectors and to reduce the burden in our country ongoing at the laboratories. Talking about the use of treated bed nets, it is important to know what is more effective in the context of Cameroon. One of the missions, the Center for Research on Infectious Diseases, CRED.
We are generating data that the Ministry of Health is using to really select the best tools to reduce malaria burden. We are also anticipating by testing the products of the future that will allow Cameroon to be at the forefront of this fight. There are new tools in pipelines, and we are testing them. The parliamentary delegation stop to these different laboratories is for first-hand knowledge on the field in order to question issues as the people's representatives.
I have come, therefore, as president with my colleagues of the Parliamentary Caucus on Health in Cameroon to also get from him the challenges that he has, so that we as Parliament can accompany him.
Worth recalling here that an anti-malaria vaccine has been introduced into the vaccination program to contain malaria prevalence rate and consequences on the population. And with the soaring abuses linked to judicial custody in Cameroon, we sought to find out from lawyers what judicial custody is all about, how long a person can be kept in judicial custody. More in the following story.
The abuses recorded in Cameroon when it comes to judicial custody is alarming. Lawyers have continuously cried out, blaming it on the non-respect or application of the laws.
I've had cases as a lawyer for people who have been in police custody maybe for 10 or 15 days without any genuine reasons, but there are also legal mechanisms to activate.
What happens when someone is placed under custody, and for how long can a person be kept in custody? These questions have kept Cameroonians pondering.
The State Council must specify how long the suspect or the examining magistrate must specify how long a defendant will be in custody. He cannot keep that person in custody till infinity. No. He must specify. If he fails to do so, then that remand is illegal.
A magistrate can order for the extension of the duration of any custody up to 15 days, and an execution magistrate can extend it up to 7 days.
They are restricted from their liberty, and this can be done even in the interest of the person who is suspected or in his disfavor. So this custody is regulated for 48 hours, renewable once by the judicial police officer or by the state council, who can renew for another term. So meaning that if the custody, for example, you are put under custody today, it is for 48 hours, renewable one. So if the renewal has been done by the judicial police officer, then the second renewal will be done by the state council.
Once that period expires, the suspect must be brought before the legal department, which is headed by the state council. And when the suspect is brought before the state council, depending on the offense, it could be offenses committed, felony or misdemeanor committed flagrantly, the state council will use its discretion to send the matter before the examining magistrate to prefer a holding charge and now conduct a preliminary investigation.
In judicial custody, the suspect is the liability of the court. And we now talk culture, music, concerts, humor, dance, sports will make your weekend. Lady Pons, Coco Ajante, Kosi, among the artists who brighten up your weekend before Valentine's Day, which is February 14. Kizzy Kiga has been talking or presents the situation of the cultural events this weekend. Her story.
After a stressful week, it's time to dash out for a smooth and relaxing weekend. Music, dance, fashion parade, dance competitions, and football will spice your weekend. We begin with Kosi, who has an explosive concert this Saturday, the 10th of February at Canal Olympia, Besenge Douala. If you are in Yaoundé and a lover of beat Kosi, you are invited to join Lady Pons and Tonton Ibogo at Kinshasa Complex Cabaret this Friday evening. And if you are a youth, Coco Ajante and her dancers, we have a special Youth Day concert at Katia Fuda opposite Meli Melo Hotel, Yaoundé. Where are the hip-hop dancers? AJ Academy is organizing a hip-hop dancing workshop with girls this Saturday, February the 10th at Koto Bonamosadi, Douala before Entrée Chefferie. Finally, on Sunday the 11th of February, football lovers are invited to watch the AFCON finals between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Elephants of Ivory Coast. Rendezvous live at 9 p.m. on Canal International TV. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks so much, Kizzy Kiga. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. Take another rendezvous this time around on Monday. But the French news is coming up at 7:50. This never sink can't.